Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dian Pratiwi from Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. Today, I have an opportunity to present my research in the field of discourse analysis. And the title of my research is Rhetorical Move Analysis in Humanities and Hard Science Students' Thesis Abstract in Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. And the outlines for today's presentation are as follows. The first one is introduction, followed by the aims of the study, and then methodology, continued with the findings and discussion, and the last one is conclusion. So let's start with the introduction first. So undergraduate thesis is one of the requirements that must be fulfilled when someone is about to finish his or her studies at the higher educational level. It is a research document in a formal form which discusses particular topic regarding the learner's interest in his or her field of study. A thesis is composed by several parts, which are introduction, literature review, research method or methodology, findings and discussion, and conclusion. However, there is an additional part which plays an important role to the thesis, which is an abstract. So, abstract is one of the most important parts of a research paper or thesis. It is the initial part of a thesis which contains a summary of the entire data. According to McCombs in 2019, an abstract usually contains of 150 to 300 words to report the aims and outcomes of the research so that readers know exactly what the paper is about. So it means that after the title, the abstract is generally the reader's first encounter with the text and is often the point at which they decide whether to continue reading and give the accompanying article further attention or to ignore it. And there are 5 things that should exist in the abstract, which are introduction, purpose, methodology, product, and conclusion. And those 5 things are commonly known as the Hyland's 5-move analysis theory. In addition, there is also one or more steps included in each move. The following table is the details about move and its steps according to Hyland's theory. In move 1, there is an introduction which argues the topic significance, makes topic generalization, defines the key terms, and identifies the gap. In move 2, there is purpose, which states the general and or specific purpose of the research, including the hypothesis. In move 3, there is methodology, which describes participant or data source, instruments, procedure, and context. In move 4, there is product, which describes the main specific findings of the research. And the last one, in move 5, there is conclusion, which deduces conclusion, evaluates the significance of the research, states limitation, and presents recommendation or implication. So, since the studies on analyzing the rhetorical move in students' thesis abstracts are not as many, and considering the important role an abstract plays, so the study was conducted to analyze the rhetorical moves used in class department students' thesis abstract in order for the abstract to well represent the entire content of the thesis, which entice readers to read it further. And Hyland's 2005 move analysis model was used as the framework of the study. Next, a descriptive qualitative was used as a design of this study. Here, the researcher identified the moves and steps used in making the undergraduate thesis abstracts by the cross-department students from the Humanities and Hard Science field of study in Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. The data used in the study were collected from several undergraduate theses of the Humanities and Hard Science Education major in Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, specifically those which were written from 2016 to 2020 and published in repository UPI's website. 30 abstracts were written in Bahasa Indonesia and their translation in English, with a total of 60 abstracts, were taken from 6 disciplines, which are English language education, Indonesian language and literature education, Sundanese language education, International Program on Science Education, Chemistry Education, and Mathematics Education. And in collecting the data, the study used random sampling technique by choosing the data from the recent years to the old one. First, the researcher went to the repository of his website, and here the researcher filtered the data based on students' major and their graduation year. After that, the data was chosen randomly. And then the researchers started to analyze the abstract using Hyland's 2005 move analysis model. And finally, the abstract, both in English and Bahasa Indonesia, were compared. And then in analyzing the data, researchers first identified the moves and steps that were used in students' thesis abstract. After that, the researcher identified the differences between rhetorical moves used in the abstracts, and then the results were presented by writing it on findings and discussion before making a conclusion about the results of the study. Next, according to the analysis, the results showed that the 5 rhetorical moves and its steps were used by humanities and hard science students of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia in making the abstracts, both written in Bahasa Indonesia and in English. And these tables explained the occurrence of these 5 moves in cross-department students' abstracts, which were written in Bahasa Indonesia and in English. So, the analysis showed that both the Bahasa Indonesia and English abstracts had the same percentage of move occurrence. In this study, Move 1, Introduction, was the most used move by humanities students, which is 71%, followed by Move 5, Conclusion, and Move 4, Product, with the percentage of each is 58% and 56%. Meanwhile, the least moves used were Move 2, Purpose, and Move 3, Methodology, with the same percentage, which is 50%. On the other hand, for the hard science abstracts, Move 2, Purpose, and Move 2, Methodology were the most frequent move used with a total of 50%. Then Move 4, Product, followed by Move 5, Conclusion, was the second and the third frequent move used with the percentage of each is 44% and 42%. Move 1, Introduction, was also the least move used by the hard science students, with a total of 29%. In addition, the high occurrence of Move 1, Introduction, in the humanities abstract showed that the students of each discipline tried to establish context of the paper and motivate the research or discussion more than others. Meanwhile, the most frequent use of Move 2, Purpose, and Move 3, Methodology by the hard science abstracts explained that the students attempted to indicate purpose, thesis or hypothesis, and outlines the intention behind the paper, and also provide more information on design, procedures, assumptions, approach, data, etc. Next, besides moves, steps on rhetorical moves in undergraduate thesis abstracts were also analyzed in the study. These tables indicated the occurrence of the steps of each move in humanities and hard science students' undergraduate thesis abstracts, which were written in Bahasa Indonesia and its translation in English. So, based on the table, it will show that The percentage of staff used by the humanities and hard science students in making the abstracts were almost the same. However, Move 2 and Move 4 were not discussed since it didn't have any staff at all. And in this study, Move 1 Step 4, which is identifying gap, Move 5 Step 2, evaluating the significance of the result, and Move 5 Step 3, studying limitation, didn't occur in the humanities and hard science students' thesis abstracts. So the table showed that Move 1, Step 2, which is making topic generalization, and Step 1, arguing for topic significance, were the most steps that appeared in the abstract. However, Move 1 Step 3, defining the key terms, was only used by the humanities students in making the abstracts with a total of 100%. In Move 3 Step 2, describing instruments, and Step 3, describing procedure and context, it has the same percentages, which are 44% and 48% for humanities abstracts, while 56% and 52% for the hard science abstracts. And then the difference occurred in Move 3 Step 1, which is describing participants or data sources. In Indonesian abstracts, both the humanities and hard science students had the same percentage of using Move 3 Step 1, which is 50%. However, in English abstracts, the hard science students used it the most, with a total of 54%, than the humanities with 46%. On the other hand, in Move 5 Step 4, which is presenting recommendation or implication, and Step 1, which is conclusion, were mostly used by the humanities students with 67% and 60%. Meanwhile, Step 2, evaluating the significance of the research, and Step 3, studying limitation, were not used at all. So, based on the analysis, it can be concluded that all moves were used by the humanities and hard science students in making their abstracts. On the other hand, not all of the moves used in the abstracts use the steps that are owned by each move. Regarding the mood, both the Bahasa Indonesia and English abstracts made by the students from different disciplines had the same percentage of move occurrence. However, the study found that Move 1, Introduction, was the most used move by humanities students. Meanwhile, Move 2, Purpose, and Move 3, Methodology, were the least move used by the students in their undergraduate thesis abstracts. On the contrary, in the hard science undergraduate thesis abstracts, Move 2, Purpose, and Move 3, Methodology were the most frequent move used by the students. However, Move 1 Introduction was the least move used by the cross-department students in making the abstracts. Next, regarding the steps, there is no significant difference between two fields of study. Step 2, making topic generalization, and Step 1, arguing for topic significance in Move 1, were the most steps that appeared in the abstracts. However, Move 1 Step 3, which is defining the key terms, was only used by the students in in the humanities field. And then the difference occurred in Move 3 Step 1, which is describing participants or data sources, because it has the same percentage in the Indonesian abstracts, while in English abstracts, the hard science students used it the most. So, here are the references that I used in my research. And it brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.